Hey guys, what's up? Yes, you see the title. It is the 58th edition. I welcome you to the Animated Girls Profile Confidential, the 58th edition. And here, as you see the title, we are talking about the face, one of the primary faces of the current generation of My Little Pony. As a matter of fact, she is the face of the spin-off of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Sunset Shimmer. Now, here's what's interesting about Sunset Shimmer. Sunset Shimmer was first introduced, of course, as a toy. But her toy kind of gave away, in a sense, not entirely, but kind of gave away that this character was going to be a protagonist, was going to be a good girl. But the first movie, which came out, I think, around the fourth season of MLP FIM, she was depicted as an antagonist. Why was she an antagonist? I haven't seen the movie yet, but pretty much she had basically betrayed Celestia. She was one of Celestia's prized pupils, prized students, and then because, and I guess the IDW comics go more into depth with her background, because she was, I don't know what it could have been. Basically, because she wanted more, she hungered for more. Basically, because of the fact that I can't really say, but she basically wanted to be. I'm guessing she felt maybe she was ready to move on to the next step, be an alicorn or something. I don't know what it was. But anyway, long story short, in the first Equestria Girls movie, she ends up stealing Twilight's princess crown, because Twilight had recently, at that time, become the Princess of Friendship, and Twilight had to follow her into this mirror portal, which was in the form of a mirror. And this mirror portal led to a human world. Now again, the IDW comics delve a little bit more into how Sunset originally first got there. Now, for all we know, Sunset, according to Continuity Timeline, officially has been in that human world for about 3 to 4 years. We can't really say, but we know she's been there that long. Now, Sunset, of course, when the first movie came around, was depicted as an antagonist, as a bit of a bully at times. But in traditional Friendship is Magic routine, Sunset Shimmer is defeated, basically brought back down to earth, and we finally find out the truth as to why she did what she did. But in traditional Friendship is Magic fashion, she is given a second chance. She's given a second chance to redeem herself. Now, I have not watched Equestria Girls, the first movie. But a lot of people say that, yes, you need to watch that to kind of get an idea of what happens in the next movie, which is Rainbow Rocks. Rainbow Rocks takes place immediately, in a sense, after, well, not immediately after, but a little after the first movie. In this film, Sunset Shimmer basically is basically the focus of the film. And the focus of the film for her is for her to try to redeem herself. She's trying to redeem herself. She's trying to basically make up for what she had done. And from what a lot of fans have said about Rainbow Rocks, I would be inclined to agree, because from what I've heard nothing but positiveness about Rainbow Rocks. I mean, yes, some people didn't like it at first, but I guess around watching it for the first time and then watching it again, they kind of came around and started to like it. Why? Because this, in many fans' minds, was the way you redeem a character from being a villain to being a hero. And that's what they did with Sunset Shimmer. Heck, they dedicated several little music videos in between, in the film, as well as in between, if you will, on YouTube and such areas, to really hype up the fact that, yes, Sunset's a changed character. Heck, Silver Quill even brought it up Firebrand in a recent collab he did with Eliora, and even Silver Quill brought it up in his little collab he did with I Love KP a lot last year. And that is when Sunset appears in Rainbow Rocks, because Rainbow Rocks, like I said, is entirely focused on her. She's pretty much the focus of it. She feels like an entirely different character. Why? Because what is being done here is she's slowly, in a storyline sense, redeeming herself. She's making up for what she had done. So, overall, if you need a good reasoning as to why Sunset Shimmer right now is probably one of the more popular characters in the overall current fourth generation of My Little Pony, Rainbow Rocks is a pretty much good metaphor or a good example of why that is. Now, Sunset, of course, like I said at the beginning, is the face somewhat of Equestria Girls. She is basically like, as many people may hate this comparison, is like the Starlight Glimmer there. But when we get to friendship games, that role kind of reverses. Because the Starlight Glimmer role is taken over by the actual human counterpart of Twilight called Psy-Twi, or who is dubbed Psy-Twi, because she's more of a scientific counterpart than a magical one. Like I said, more of a scientific type than a magical one. And she comes in basically later on in the run of the Equestria Girls franchise. In fact, she's hinted at and seen in an epilogue or post-credit or mid-credit scene at the end of Rainbow Rocks. So she becomes like the Starlight Glimmer, and Sunset takes on the role of the Twilight, if you want to look at it that way. Legend of Everfree also helped out a little bit as well, but not as much. Now, between that time, after these movies happened, well, Legend of Everfree also happened, but I haven't seen that one as well. In fact, I haven't seen any of the Equestria Girls movies because, quite honestly, I understand why they were made, but I lean more towards Friendship is Magic because if it wasn't for Friendship is Magic, there would be no Equestria Girls. You catch my drift? You catch my point there? But anyway, after the 4 movies, Legend of Everfree being the last one, they started doing some shorts, if you will, for a while on YouTube. It was a digital series for Equestria Girls. They did music videos, they did 10 to 11 minute shorts, and then this past summer, they actually ended up doing a couple of 30-minute specials that aired week after week on Saturday, right after Friendship is Magic. And one of them one of those specials was called Mirror Magic. And Mirror Magic did something that fans had been wanting to see since about season 6, in a sense. Since the end of season 5 and mostly throughout season 6, fans have been wanting to see this moment. And what was the moment they wanted to see? Starlight Glimmer meeting Sunset Shimmer. That's right. Mirror Magic was the first time, as far as I know, since either Rainbow Rocks or Equestria Girls, that Sunset Shimmer had gone back into gone through the portal, which ironically in the human world is disguised is basically at the bottom or in disguise of a statue in front of the Canterlot High. So she goes through the portal, goes back to Equestria, has a little bit of a funny moment when she first arrives there and meets Starlight, because the funny moment Sunset has is she's standing on her back hooves as her pony self, forgetting, I'm a pony again. It's kind of weird going back to that, because she'd been human for the whole time. And again, this led to basically the meeting between the two, which also led to Starlight Glimmer crossing over into the human Equestria world, and we got to see a humanized version of Starlight. Now, at the end of that special, Starlight did stay, not permanently, but just for a few days, to kind of get an idea of what that world is like. And yes, much to the chagrin of some people, it was another attempt, even with Equestria Girls, to push Starlight Glimmer as a hero that, just like Sunset, was redeeming herself with the actions she would do, with the actions that she would help, with her own actions, basically redeem herself in the long run. But that wasn't the last time Sunset would go back to Equestria. Very recently, we had the special Forgotten Friendship, which was based on a book called Friendship to Remember. And in the book, and just like in the book, Sunset ends up going back to Equestria, and the moment a lot of fans have been waiting for finally occurred. She reunites with Princess Celestia, reconciles with Princess Celestia, and even finds out before she heads back to the human world that she's not the only pony to change. As she realizes, as she discovers that Princess Celestia has a bit of a sense of humor to her now. So, but overall, when you look at a character like Sunset Shimmer, you know, at first, when she first came around, people have admitted that they didn't think they would like her. But Rainbow Rocks pretty much corrected that and pretty much said, hey, you want a story where you get a proper redemption for a former villain, a former antagonist? Rainbow Rocks did that. And that's why, since that day, Sunset has become one of the more popular characters in the overall fourth generation of My Little Pony. The only thing that some fans do want to see happen is Sunset to return to Equestria, not as a part of a Equestria Girls special, but as part of Friendship is Magic. They want to see her cross over to there and go back for a few episodes or so. And that may happen. We don't know. But overall, I'm going to admit it. I do like Sunset Shimmer. Don't get me wrong. Sunset, from what I've heard and from what I've seen, is a pretty cool character. There's no doubt about it. You know, she's very she's kind of like what Applejack is. Applejack is down to earth. She's kind of down to earth, and she's very in a sense, understanding. She basically she's very understanding now, and very understanding and forgiving and willing, if you will. Now, yes, does her tendencies, as depicted and seen in Forgotten Friendship, does her tendencies of the past, like frustrations and anger, sometimes get the best of her again? Absolutely. But not as much. But not as much as they used to. So, her frustration, that is, but not as much, not like they used to. But overall, Sunset has proven to be a character that, if done right, especially if you want to redeem a character, can become something that even fans, primarily of Friendship is Magic, will actually enjoy and get a kick out of. So, so hopefully, maybe someday she will go back to Equestria as part of the Friendship is Magic show or series, and not Equestria Girls. But we'll have to wait and see. Overall, Sunset Shimmer has indeed proven to be one of the more popular characters in the current history of the fourth generation of MLP. Will there be another like her in the future? We don't know. We don't know. But that's all I'm going to say on this 58th edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential about Sunset Shimmer. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I would like to hear from you guys, and I will talk to you all later.